Hello and welcome to episode 17 of Made with Carlenergy. I'm Carlene and I'm on Ravelry and Instagram as Carlenergy. And there's also a Ravelry group which you can find by searching Made with Carlenergy podcast in the groups tab. And with me here today is my co-host, the Dude, who is back home with me. He has been at my parents' house in New Jersey since Christmas because I had brought him back there to hang out with everybody, and then I knew I was going to be dog sitting for a whole week in early January, so I left him with my parents so that he would be taken care of, and then there was just some delays with getting him back to me since it was snowing a lot in New Jersey at the end of January, but my dad came up to visit me the first weekend of February, and so now he is back, and he is my Valentine because today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. It's Sunday, February 14th, and no, you can't be on the keyboard because you get very loud over there. So yeah, I feel like a terrible podcaster because I did miss another week of recording. I didn't record an episode last weekend, and I did have a giveaway going on, and I had really wanted to announce the prize last week, but I just didn't sit down to record an episode, and I don't know why that is. I've just been kind of hanging out with my friends a lot, socializing, and being busy with other things, and I will be moving into a different place soon, so I'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, I guess I've just been kind of distracted by life, basically. Nothing bad or too stressful or anything has been happening. I've just been all over the place, and yeah, hanging out with friends, and just haven't been sitting down to record episodes. But yeah, that being said, I did have a giveaway of a project bag by Mina of the Knitting Expat podcast. So it's a MinaMakes bag from her Etsy shop, and she had given this to me at Vogue Knitting Live in mid-January. And she gave me a bag and then gave me this one to give away to a lucky viewer. And so I opened up a thread in my group that was open for 2 weeks, and the prompt was, what is the nicest thing that another knitter has done for you? And there were so many heartwarming stories in the thread, so many great things that other knitters have done for all of you, and so it was really nice to read all those stories. And I drew a number with random number generator, and the winner is Teresa, who is Quiet Zone on Ravelry, and she lives in Alabama. And she said that the nicest thing that another knitter has done for her is introduce her to knitting and teach her how to knit. And I think that really is the nicest thing that another knitter could do for you, is introduce you to the craft and bring you into this awesome community. So congratulations, Teresa, and you can send me a private message with your mailing address, and I'll get this off to you. So you'll get this bag with this lovely handle, and I'm also including some minis, which I picked some that coordinated with the bag. I thought that was fun, so the colors are kind of matchy. And so these three are from me. This is some Lorna's Laces Shepherd sock in the Envy colorway, which I just finished a pair of socks with, which are right here, and I'll show those in a minute. And this is Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Opaline colorway. It's a merino single, and I made a t-shirt top out of this a few years ago. And I think this is Fearless Fibers in the, I think it was the Saltwater Taffy colorway. So that's a merino, but it's very fuzzy merino. And then this one is actually from Mina, Mina herself of the Knitting Expat. So this is Regia Van Gogh. And so it's purples and grays and whites and blues. And I really like this one, actually, but it does go really, really well with the bag. So I will be including that as well. And I'll probably put some tea or some other goodies in there for you, Teresa. So yeah, go ahead and send me your address. And thank you everyone who submitted an entry to that thread. It was really, really nice to hear all your stories. So as far as finished objects go, as well as works in progress, all I've been knitting is socks, so this is going to be a boring overview of my sock knitting over the past 2 weeks. I think last time I did show these socks, which are the Lorna's laces in the NB colorway. And so I started the first sock, I think before Rhinebeck, and then um, it sat idle for a month or so, and then I picked it back up again at random times. And yeah, so I finished these last week, and this is a twisted rib cuff, which is a little unusual for me. But other than that, just my usual plain vanilla sock on a US 1, 2.25 millimeter, 64 stitches, slip stitch heel flap, and a rounded toe. I've been doing the rounded toe, which is in the Rose City Roller pattern, and I think it's also the toe that Mina of the Knitting Expat uses in her 2 at a time socks pattern. So I like that toe. It's a little shorter than the wedge toe, I think it's called. But yeah, so those are finished. They're very comfortable. They are getting a little fuzzy already. I've worn them a few times. But that's normal with all my socks. They do get felted at the toe and the heel, and I think that's a good thing. It makes them nice and warm and thick at those spots. And then right after I finished those, I cast on this pair, which were really fun to work on. I really, really like these colors and the stripe pattern. This is a Loops and Threads luxury sock. So Loops and Threads is the Michaels brand. And this is a discontinued yarn, so I'm sorry to show you if you're interested in this yarn, but this is 60% fine superwash merino, 30% nylon, and 10% cashmere. And I had read some reviews of this yarn on Ravelry that said that it doesn't wear very well, and it is getting really ridiculously fuzzy already. I mean, it looks a lot worse than most of the socks that I've knit before. So I'm hoping that they still wear okay and that I can maybe use a pill remover to clean these up a little bit, but they are getting quite fuzzy and ragged looking already. But regardless, I think they're still going to be nice to wear. Maybe I won't be too hard on these. I'll only bring them out once in a while, but I think they're beautiful. Hey dude, no screeching. See, now he's going to be distracting again on the episodes. Dude, no screeching. I think he hears the people, my landlord, coming into the other part of the house, so he's freaking out. And then, so this is another pair that I have had on the needles for a few months, since November, I think, and they've been languishing, and that was because I really didn't enjoy knitting with this yarn too much. This is Lana Grossa Malibu Stretch. And yeah, it has it's 45% wool, 35% cotton, 13% polyamide, and 7% elite PBT, which I think is another synthetic fiber. This is the Blueberry Waffles pattern, and I did an Eye of Partridge heel on these, which I really like. Yeah, so not the most enjoyable knitting experience, but I do like how these feel on my feet. They are very comfortable, and they're nice and light, but still warm. So I'm not hating on these. I do like them a lot. I didn't bother to make them match with this pair. But yeah, I like how the colors came out. I like how it looks in the stitch pattern, and I think they're going to be nice, especially for early spring or fall. They're a little bit lighter than some of my other wool socks, so yeah, I'm happy with them. So that's 3 new pairs of socks for me, but I think really only this pair so far is going to count for Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast, Box of Socks Knit Along, because these were the only ones that I've totally knit in 2016 so far. These 2 were started in 2015, and I just finished them up. But yeah, I'm really happy to have 3 new pairs of socks. I did finish another pair of socks for a friend of mine that I've already gifted, and forgot to take a picture, so I have finished another pair of socks within the last 2 weeks, and I'm working on 2 more pairs in my Margot Tannenbaum bag from Nomadic Yarns. I have this opal sock yarn, and this is mostly in German, but it is 75% superwash, 25% polyamide. And I was really interested to knit with this yarn because I wasn't sure if it was going to just be speckled or if it was going to have some kind of pattern. This is what it looks like. So it is kind of an organized pattern, but it has little random inconsistencies to it. And I have this really cute cowboy boot stitch marker from Amber of the Yarn Junkie podcast. We did a swap, and she made these for me. So I'm on the heel flap, and these are on my Chowgoos, which I've pretty much determined are my needle of choice. I've never used Hayas, but I have another sock on the needles with carbons, and I'm really trying to love them, but I just don't. So I'm going to be sending those to Kristen of Yarngasm because I know that she likes her carbons. So I've really been trying to like the carbons, but they're just not for me. I like my Chowgoos. Very biased towards these. So that's what I'm going to stick with. But yeah, another plain vanilla sock because that's how I like my socks. Autopilot and mindless, and yeah, boring. But I do like how this is knitting up. It's nice and thick. Dude, that's enough of that. Hey, quit it. Talk nice. And I'm so sorry. Dude. He's all hyped up because I'm talking to somebody else. So in my MinaMakes bag, which is the one that she gave me at Vogue Knitting Live, I'm working on some socks for another friend who has size 12 feet, guy size 12, so this is on 72 stitches. This is Barocco Socks, SOX, and this is the Flitwick colorway. And I'm almost finished with this one. I just have to finish the toed decreases. And he tried it on yesterday and it fits, so I'm happy about that. It's nice and long in the foot for some ginormous feet. And yep, just plain vanilla again with the slip stitch heel. And so yeah, those are my current socks in progress, and I'm really trying to make myself work on other things, but I just haven't felt like concentrating on a new cast on. There are a lot of patterns that I know I will be working on soon, but I've just been wanting to knit socks, and I know that this is something that we all kind of go through sometimes. It's kind of annoying because I do have some really nice yarn that I want to get on the needles, but I've just been distracted. And I've been reading a lot and writing a lot more, so that's been really nice. Knitting's been on the back burner, and I'm trying to be okay with that. I did finish some spinning. I finished this loop bump that I've been working on forever on my Shacked high-low spindle. This is 1.1 ounces, and you can use it as a top whorl or a bottom whorl, but I've always used it as a top whorl. And so this is a loop bump that I was plying on the fly. And I think I showed this in my last episode that I had finished this skein. I still haven't washed it. I haven't washed either of these skeins. But this is the last of it. This is the last, I think it was about 0.6 ounces. And so that's finally done, finished. And this is going into my Fringe with Benefits shawl that I've showed many times, so I won't pull it out right now. But yeah, I'm really excited to have finished all the yarn for this. So this is 2 different loop bumps, and I'm hoping that these last 2 skeins are enough to finish the pattern. I'm not quite sure how close to the end of the pattern I am, but I'm really hoping that these last 2 skeins will cover it. Because if not, I don't know. I'll have to figure out what other fiber I want to spin for it, but or I might be able to, I think the pattern, I think the scarf is long enough now that I could just bind off whenever I wanted at this point. But yeah, I'm really excited to have those finished. I need to get them set in the rinse. My other knitting work in progress, or seaming work in progress as it is is my Hugo sweater for my friend Matt, and I still haven't finished it, and I feel really bad about that. I didn't work on it at all last weekend, so the last time I touched it was 2 weekends ago. I did get one sleeve set in at the sleeve cap, so here it is, the sleeve, and that's how it fits into the sleeve cap. So I think I did okay. It's not too bunched up in any places. It's set in a lot easier than I thought it was. It's a really high sleeve cap on this pattern, so I was really nervous that as I was sewing it in, it was going to not match up to the sleeve, the shoulders area, but it turned out okay. And I did start sewing this sleeve. It's hard to show, but I did start seaming up the sleeve, but I might end up pulling it out because I don't know how I didn't notice this, but there's this garter ridge there that I didn't match up quite right. So it's a little off, yeah, it's a little off center. And I feel like it's not that big of a deal, and it's not something that anybody else would notice. But yeah, it's kind of hard to see on screen, but it doesn't quite match up across there. But I've already gotten so far up, and I just want to finish it, so I might just have to let that go. But it is beautiful. It's the Hugo pattern by Veronique Avery from the first Brooklyn Tweed men's collection. And instead of doing snaps like the pattern calls for, my friend wanted toggle buttons, which I think turned out really nicely. So I really need to finish this. But I have off tomorrow for President's Day, so maybe I'll give this some love tomorrow. Or today, I'm not sure. But so that's that. That's my embarrassing still work in progress. Other than that, I have some stash enhancement, which shouldn't have happened, but it has. I did get 2 new books because, yeah, I guess I'll go in a little bit into the fact that I'm moving soon now, because I'm moving out of my apartment, which I love, but it is time to move. My friend lives in a house just a couple minutes away down the road, and her roommate, who's also a friend of ours, she's moving out, so I will be moving in. And this house has a basement garage area, so it's the basement of the house, but it also opens out to the backyard with a garage door. And it's a great space to have a little studio, and I want to do some natural dyeing in this space because it's somewhere where I can get messy and not worry about dye getting on the floor and things like that. And yeah, so I'm going to try to start doing some natural dyeing and maybe some acid dyeing too. But I got the Dyer's Garden, or A Dyer's Garden, by Rita Buchanan, and then I got the Complete Guide to Natural Dyeing. So added these to my library. I also have the Modern Natural Dyer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to digging into those and seeing what I can come up with for some dyeing experiments. I haven't dyed anything before, but I think with this new space where I can really spread out and get messy, I think it's going to be really fun. And then we have some yarn, which doesn't count as stash because it's for a commissioned project. I'm doing a trade with a friend, so oh, and I forgot to bring a label for this one over, but this is Malabrigo worsted in the Ravelry Red colorway. Really nice, bright, saturated red. It's coming out a little brighter on screen. It's a little more muted than that. It's kind of a better idea of it. And then this one is from Molly Girl Yarns on Etsy, and this is her Birdhouse in My Soul colorway. So it's a nice saturated teal turquoise color and some black and more of a muted blue and teal. And so my friend, this is going to be a brioche cowl. And I think I'm going to kind of combine a few different patterns because she really likes the Excuse Me cowl by Stephen West, but she also wants it to have maybe some toggle buttons. So I'm going to try to combine some patterns so that it will be a brioche cowl, but with some type of asymmetrical button-up section. And yeah, so she wanted, she really likes turquoise and red together, which I do too, but we wanted it to be a little more subtle. So I found a yarn that has this nice darker color as well. So I'm interested to see how this is going to work up. I want to skate or ball it up and swatch for it maybe tomorrow. So that'll be fun. And then I did a swap with Sarah of the Naughty Gnome podcast. She also has the Naughty Gnome Crafts Etsy shop. She's very talented, very multi-talented. And yeah, we did a Valentine's Day swap, which was organized by Melissa of the Spicy Homemaker podcast. So thank you so much for organizing that, Melissa. It was really nice, and I got totally spoiled. This was the card that Sarah sent me that she decorated with some washi tape. And she sent me some strawberry Pocky, which I haven't broken into yet, but I will definitely indulge in that today, since it is Valentine's Day. And she made this beautiful Notions pouch with this beautiful heart fabric and this extra zipper pocket in the front, and this is also a pocket. And yeah, the fabric on the inside is that red gingham again. This is so beautiful. And I love her little label with the gnome hat. So very spoiled by that. And then she also sent me some wool wash and some minis, which these two are her hand-dyed yarn, and then these two are her hand-spun. So these are so special. Can't wait to put these into my blanket. They're really, really gorgeous. And then all of that was, of course, plenty, but she spoiled me extra with this skein of Sanguine Griffin, which I never got my hands on any of this yarn. And they've since split up into two different companies. I think Cephalopod Yarns and the Verdant Griffin used to be the Sanguine Griffin. But this is the Bugga base, so it's sport weight, and it's 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon, and this is the green long-legged fly colorway. So Sarah really, really understands my color choices, and this is so gorgeous and just such a squishable skein of yarn, and this is going to be something really special. I don't know what yet, but it's really, really, really pretty. So thank you so much, Sarah. That was so nice to receive, and I feel very, very spoiled. So, yeah, now my most embarrassing stash enhancement. So, you all know about my yarn baby that I got at Vogue Knitting Live. This is my Jill Draper Make Stuff Empire skein, which I bought at Vogue Knitting Live, and I love it very much, and it will soon become a Birch Bay sweater. And then Jill had a Empire update in her Etsy shop only a few weeks after Vogue Knitting Live, and I don't know what I was doing looking at her update, but I was. And there were many beautiful skeins, and I was watching them fly out of her Etsy shop, and that was okay. I was very happy to see that they were being bought up, and that I didn't have to feel like I was going to buy any. And then there was a skein that was up there for a few days after the update, and it hadn't sold yet, and I kept looking at it. I kept checking on the page, thinking, okay, it's going to be gone, and I don't have to worry about it anymore, but it wasn't selling, and so I did it. I have twins now. This is ridiculous. This is so gluttonous, such a wool pig purchase, but I just had to. So this skein is basically the fraternal twin of this one, because this skein is mostly peach with a little hint of this dusky army green color, which really doesn't come off very well in my terrible lighting. But so this is mostly the peachy neutral tone with a little bit of that green, and then this one is more of that mossy green color with a hint of the peach. So I don't know, I just felt like they needed to be together. So this one's really gorgeous, and it really doesn't come off anywhere near as beautiful on my screen, but it is this really mossy green color. And so this is the Empire, 1,280 yards of an Aran weight, 100% Rambouillet. And this one I'm going to knit the asymmetrical cardigan in the Knitting Nature book by Noragon. So I already know what I'm going to make with this, and I know what I'm going to make with this. So this will be a pullover, and this will be a cardigan. I mean, that makes sense, right? I needed to have two so I could have a pullover and a cardigan in Empire. And yeah, very embarrassing, but I'm not regretting it. I think it's really beautiful, and yeah, it's one of those weird colors. I think the thing was that it's one of those weirder colors, and I like the weird colors, and that makes it really tricky with Etsy store updates because the weirder colors tend to sell a little bit slower, and so I have more of a chance to sit there and mull over it, and you know, it's just like eventually I give in because I have to have that weird color. So yeah, more Empire. I really hope I like working with this stuff because I have a lot of it now. I'm sure I will. It feels really great. So yeah, that's everything I have to show you, I think. I did also recently, I haven't gotten in the mail yet, but I bought a project bag and some yarn from Laura of the Fawn Knits podcast, from her Etsy shop, The Fawn and the Fox. So I bought one of her succulents bags. She's got this really nice succulents fabric, and then some of her terrarium colorway on her fawn base, which is her fingering MCN. So this was her first update that included her hand-dyed yarn that she's now selling. And yeah, so I bought these two, this yarn and this bag together, and then she had posted a picture of it on her Instagram that she really liked that combination because the project bag and the yarn really match up well together. And a lot of other people were interested in getting it as a kit. So Laura did some kits, and I think they are all sold out now. But I thought that was really fun that it ended up being a kit, and I'm really excited to see it. It hasn't gotten here yet. I'm sure it will get here maybe sometime this week. So yeah, I've been very gluttonous, very much a wool pig lately, and I've really got to slow down. But I don't know what it is. Buying yarn, it makes me want to buy more yarn. Like I can go for a few months without buying any, but then as soon as I make one purchase, I just keep going. It's not good. So, and especially since I'm in this rut right now where I'm not really knitting as much, and all I want to knit is socks. Should really slow down. But yeah, I will definitely have to reassess my stash in the next couple weeks since I am moving, and so I'll have to pack up all this stuff in my apartment, and that's going to be a big wake-up call on just how much I have. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to moving. I really like my place. I've really enjoyed living in this apartment, but I think it's going to be a good change. I'm really looking forward to living with my friend and having that extra space to mess around with dyeing, and it has a big backyard, and it still has the same, so there's a river that runs through my backyard, and at this new house it's the same river that goes through that yard, so I still have the river to hang out in, and yeah, it's going to be really nice to move all my stuff. I mean, I hate it. I don't want to move all my stuff. I have too many little trinkets and yarn and books all over the place. But it's going to be a good opportunity to reassess what I have and get rid of some things, and yeah, just really know what I have and what I can get rid of. So Oh, I did also have a question about the dude in my questions thread on Ravelry, and I'm sorry I'm blanking on who asked me, but um, the question was, how old is the dude, and did I get him as a baby? And so I got the dude, I guess 6 years ago. I think I got him in 2010, and I got him at just a PetSmart or Petco. I forget which one. I think it was a PetSmart. Um, and what was nice is his wings weren't clipped. Whichever store I bought him from, they did not clip the Parakeet's wings, which I appreciated because I didn't want his wings clipped. I did want him to be able to fly. And I think he was probably between 2 and 4 months old when I got him. He was, around 3 months old. So he wasn't a super baby. Like, he had all his feathers already. He wasn't a newborn. But he did still have the zebra stripes on his head all the way up to his forehead. So when parakeets are babies, they have the black and white stripes all the way down to their nose. But when they get older, it's white. He has a white tuft now on his forehead, and then it goes into the zebra stripes. So yeah, he was about I think 3 or 4 months old when I got him, and yeah, he actually took to me really well. He was pretty friendly just within the first week of having him. I trained him to go on my hand by just holding my hand up to his feet while he was still in the cage, and I would just put my finger up against his feet, and he would eventually step onto my finger and just hang out there for a little bit, and then eventually I would bring him out of the cage and let him hang out on top of the cage. And then he learned that he could fly around the room a little bit and get back to his cage when he wanted to. So he was really, and he started talking really quickly too. Within the first couple months that I had him, I was just repeating myself over and over again so that he would learn some phrases. And yeah, he was pretty friendly right off the bat. He's been great. So now, yeah, now he's about 6 years old, I guess. And I think they live between 15 and 25 years. So I'm looking forward to having him around for a long time. And the dude does want to make a shout out to Yoshi, who is on Pin Feathers and Pearls, which is a relatively new podcast hosted by Candace. And she has I think it's a Quaker parakeet, so he's a little different from the dude, but he's really adorable. And yeah, the dude says hello to Yoshi. And yeah, I've had a hard time keeping up on everybody else's podcasts. I'm really trying to keep up, but there's so many that I enjoy now, and there's so many new ones that I want to check out. But like I said, I've been running around. I've been out of the house a lot, and kind of focusing on trying to read a lot of books lately and get back to my writing. So I'm really excited about that. I don't think it's a bad thing. I wish I could fit it all in. And I feel really bad that my spinning wheel has been so neglected since I've purchased it. But I don't know, I just haven't sat down and been able to concentrate on it. So yeah, I hope that's everything I wanted to cover. I really want to get back to a regular schedule, because even missing just 1 week, I feel like the next week it's that much harder for me to sit down and record, because I feel so scattered. I feel like, yeah, like all around me are all these things that I have been wanting to talk about, and I do want to keep in touch, but and there's so many knit-alongs that I've been wanting to actually officially participate in, because yeah, I have a lot of projects going, I think, or I could start, that would match up with some knit-alongs, but I've just been really lazy about posting pictures and threads and stuff like that. Oh, but I'm going to be doing a knit-along with Gabby of the Once Upon a Corgi podcast. We're both wanting to knit the Luca shawl from the Brooklyn Tweed Winter 2016 collection, and it's a lace weight circular pie shawl. And so we're going to be starting that on March 1st, and it'll go until the end of April. So if you're interested in knitting the Luca shawl, then you can join us. I will open up some threads in my group, And yeah, I think Denise of the Yarn Geek podcast is also going to be knitting it. So yeah, I definitely need to skein up or ball up my yarn and get that started very soon, because it seems like March is going to happen very quickly. I can't believe it's almost March. um, so yeah, I've been totally rambling, but yeah, thank you guys for sticking with me. I'm sorry that I've been on such a scattered schedule. And I don't know if I can promise any better than that in the next month, since I will be moving, and that's going to be a little crazy. I think I'm still a little bit in denial about it, because it doesn't feel like I have to be packing yet, but I really should start packing so that it's not too crazy when it gets closer to the deadline for me moving out of this place. So yeah, with that said, I will leave you guys to enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you are staying warm. It's been very cold up here. Winter finally found us. So I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're enjoying your projects. And thank you so much for watching and participating and keeping up with me on Instagram and everything like that. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.